Hello, welcome back to Neophyte Chronicles Greater Shores. It's been so long, but our players have reunited and we're here for session 5. Hello, everybody. Wave to the audience, our tens of viewers in the future. Wow, that feels good. I'm back in the GM seat. I feel
Right.
like I have abject control.
So powerful.
So powerful.
Drunk with
Also, with EclipseCon, if anyone is in the area for SalukiCon for SIU, this is going to be spring of 2023. We're going to be doing a live one-shot that Sunday, April 23rd, I believe. I don't know if I have that date right, but it's a Sunday in April. And it's for SalukiCon, so you can figure the rest out. We're going to be doing a live Neophyte Chronicles one-shot, so that's going to be fun. Okay, but we are back to Greater Shores, and we left our players after a tumultuous combat of arrows and turnips and turning into a wolf, burning down a forest.
I'd like to add that it's eggplants, not turnips.
Eggplants. I'm terribly sorry.
It should be.
Okay, start the stream over.
Scratch it.
It's a completely different emoji.
Burn the footage.
Our players witness the sort of a semi-fey Eladrin funeral of the Freet family, and continued on their way after trying to barter for some 3d8 bows that is not about
Introduce the
4D8.
elves to the
4D8.
concept
Oh, you
of
tried.
insurance
It was
adjusters
beautiful.
and lawyers.
Did we?
Oh yeah.
I don't think that's true.
I said I wanted
I'm
to
just
sue,
saying-
and I threatened them with the
I'm so
law.
proud of
And
you.
they went,
I'm so
what is that?
thirsty to have
Threatened to
you
sue.
I got a loot.
Yep.
You
Yep.
did get a loot.
It was a nice loot.
Yeah.
We have a good loot. Oberon got a loot back. I'm ignoring the rest of that. That's a
You can try. We got footage.
Elves wandering through the forest. So I don't know. I guess I get legal representation. You know, when you're in a society with enough rules and sort of mores that you need somebody who's trained in the litigation process. No. You're going too far, right? It's about the trees. It's about the forest. It's about living in the moment. We don't need that. And they just get in a whole
I'm going to
debate.
stalk these elves like a missionary trying to tell them about lawyers.
Where's that called? I think the LSAT.
Knock them down and be like, am I bothered?
You are not corrupting. Look, there's plenty of capitalists to get involved with. Which takes us to where we are now of Easton Port. The party had made their way around the southern coast of this new land, of this peninsula, having gone through the Royal, presumably. And as you guys continue in a westerly direction, you guys kind of crest a hill with Saul and Lakoth, and you see sort of the tail of the comet-like sun, you know, still flaring down over the horizon as you see ships setting off in the same direction. The port town itself, Easton, what you see isn't, you know, a crazy, overwhelming complex. You know, you've seen cities that look to be a bit more than this. This is a little frontier-like. There's only one major port of ships coming and going. Looks like most of the ships are moving large crates and goods rather than a lot of passengers. And the ships that you see, you know, they're straight and narrow and streamlined in areas where ships from your homeland might have some filigree. Their sails are set up, you know, in sets of 3 rather than one large sail for various purposes. You know, there's just enough little differences that, you know, a large boat is a large boat when you get down to it, right? But there's enough differences that these look foreign in a way that you can't quite articulate. The port itself, you know, there's one major port where maybe four or five ships are docked. There's a few kind of empty areas, and even at this sort of evening hour, goods are being moved to one central location near the hill, and look to be loaded on carts or processed in a warehouse. The town itself, the only other buildings besides this large warehouse and the ship's docks itself, there's only a smattering of 4 sort of medium-sized buildings. One seemed to have a lot of people coming and going. You can hear, even at this distance, some distant music and the candlelight and the light of a hearth flickering inside as the sun goes down. And the other buildings themselves are locked down. They're dark. Businesses seems to have closed for the day, and whatever else this town is doing. And a bit further down, it would be north from this position, down to your right, there's a bit of a winding trail and what looks like a series of smaller buildings, some houses, maybe some shacks, etc. For people that live here full time. But it's a frontier port city, and honestly, it's a little diminutive compared to the ports of all of your homeland. You're all gazing out. You let's see, what's everyone's passive perception?
13.
13.
Also 13.
13.
How do you check that?
It depends what you are using, but passive perception should be, double check here.
That's my perception. 11.
Cool. What was it? It was 10 plus perception.
Usually, that's all you get is 1%.
Yeah.
You should pay more attention.
John, what's your?
I think it's also 11.
11. Cool.
Mine's 9.
You just challenge
Nine.
to argue over it.
Not great.
Someone had a 14, I believe. Cal, you have a 14.
14.
You have a 14. You're all sort of taken by this sight, and the sun dipping down below a cloudless horizon. It's remarkable, casted across the water. It looks almost like an eye reflected across a cat's eye, I suppose, reflected across the water, mirrored that sort of comet trail of the sun. Calagon, you turn and you notice Lakoff and Saul are gone. Soundlessly, again, our sort of older companion you all picked up in heavy plate armor vanished without a trace, completely soundlessly. His chittering companion, that I believe it was Kels, gained some sort of insight about.
Stinky.
Stinky, like brimstone, vanished alongside him without a trace. And the 6 of you are left alone, standing, looking down over Easton Port. And that is where I will turn it over to the players to decide what you all would like to do next.
So what time of day is it?
Evening,
Okay.
pretty late evening. It's a goddamn. It's summer. You're making me pick arbitrary details here. Fuck you. It's summer. The days are long, so it's late evening.
Okay.
I'm hungry.
Old man ghosted us.
I kind of miss him.
I
He's
missed
been
them.
gone 30
It's really
seconds.
weird. Does that mean I can't miss him?
No,
He was my friend.
I would say that speaks to how compassionate you are that you could instantly miss someone. So,
I miss them quite a
Yeah.
bit.
I'm not sure if that's out of compassion.
that's a different thing. That's a whole other thing. Understand that too.
So you want to get food?
Yes.
We need money.
Oh, well, yeah, we do.
For
It's
food.
well, not necessarily. Are we? Do you want to go dumpster diving, or do you want like a restaurant?
Such different choices.
If those are the
Not
choices,
three. The second
Same.
one's going to be a little delayed, unless
So
you want
I-
to dine and dash.
I don't think we should dumpster dive in an unfamiliar place.
That's fair.
And I don't think we should conceivably
What is
steal
the
from people.
wisdom that is telling you not to dumpster dive in an unfamiliar place? What is the difference between dumpster diving in an unfamiliar place?
What if the raccoons are more vicious than the ones we know?
oh, I mean, dumpster diving behind, a fine 5-star restaurant is one thing. Dumpster diving behind a Taco Bell is a whole other possible outcome.
Yield
Very-
Still Taco Bell. That's what I was thinking.
Wait,
The yield
no, that's
company
not
is so
part of that
proud.
analogy.
That's not. I mean, maybe we could go dumpster.
I got a backpack.
This applies to fantasy
Food,
Mexico.
Which might be in your homeland. I'll give that to you guys.
That's not my way.
You're from fantasy Russia. And, you guys are coming from a place that seems a little more developed.
Right.
And it's hard to tell whether, this is the kind of standard that you're working with here, or if this just kind of being a more frontier-like outpost. It just has this sort of this large inn, this large house for people to collectively gather at. So if you're looking for dumpster diving, I mean, you can see that collection of homes that you could kind of go pick around, but there is sort of one central hall that seems pretty busy that you all could head towards.
So I have a weak constitution. I'm not going to be able to eat dumpster food.
Says the goats.
I have standards.
You just cans. A tin can out of the ground.
It was a good tin can. Quality tin
Oh, they
can.
have tin here. Manufactured tin.
But I refuse to degrade myself by eating out of a garbage can.
It just
on the ground.
discerning goats.
That's different.
Okay.
I just
Let's go
want to
get some grub, gang.
Yeah, let's do it.
Do we want to find money beforehand, or are we dining and dashing?
What's
Or
the-
paying?
Didn't you have a plan?
I did have a plan to get
What's
money.
your money plan?
Okay, so I have to change it a little bit because it's evening, but that's okay. I think we should go to the pub, bar, inn thingamajig where they're playing music and perform for tips. Because I'm me, so I'm gonna do great. But obviously,
I'm not skilled in performing anything but murder.
we can do that.
Suspect
We can make
very
work.
much Well,
Over dinner though and
in
drinks.
the daylight, I do have a slight connection to financial crime, and I may know how to operate a racket if that's something we feel comfortable doing.
We can do
It's
that.
more of a daylight kind of thing. So, we may want to get dinner and then circle back to that.
I'm pretty charismatic. I can persuade people to give us what we want for free.
So I think we should go to whatever that hub is, and then we can interact with people / perform for them.
I'm okay with that.
Whatever enterprise the group engages in, I'm prepared to back it up with violence.
Good.
Good.
From where you're standing, you all can, you see the inn, kind of a wooden hanging sign. You see that it's called the Caustic Cauldron.
Scrumptious.
And so you all want to head off over there?
Yeah.
Okay. There's somewhat of a winding path down the hill. It's smooth enough and easy walking to accommodate, what must be the Friet family and their cart bringing their produce in. Not that trail is going to get too much use now. So it's easy walking down the hill, no need to scale or anything. And you make it into the town proper. And you guys are just overwhelmed with the shouts of captains berating their crew, the dockside runners moving and leading information to the warehouses, just absolute orchestrated chaos. The smell of rotting seawater all brushing up against this kind of grimy port that seems not for pleasure or passage, but for industry, right? So
Do we
it's slightly
also
foul.
smell like rotting seawater?
Yeah, a little bit. I would say you guys, no one's, you prestidigitated. Is that the correct conjugation? Themselves, to clean. Yeah, you guys are unwashed. You are.
Well, I'm a cat, so
You're a cat, so you've probably.
I've been moisturized by the elves after they've burned me.
Yeah.
So it's not quite the same as a shower, but I have had lotion applied to me.
what do you smell
But
like?
you seared the layer of grime off. And then
Kind of like a shower.
That's one way to get clean. Yeah.
Like it's
Self-immolation.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so it's a good
Fiery
mixture.
chinchilla.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
like I don't know if Calagon really smells that much,
Mhm.
being sort of like lizard skinny.
Describe your scent to us.
My scent?
Yes.
He smells like peat moss and machine oil.
Okay.
I think I have new money making idea. We bottle that as
I
perfume.
was just gonna say that sounds marketable.
I think it's kind of unpleasant.
Yeah.
Most mammals.
Okay.
And you all smell like some varying degrees of wet dog to me.
I'm a goat. I smell like goat. Not good.
Fair.
It's an important distinction.
Yeah.
But you make it down into this sort of orchestrated chaos, and you see, folks barking orders, and a handful of what look to be, crew members and so moving in and out of the inn. A couple of them leaving, boarding ships, drunkenly. Some of them just like absolutely haggard after who knows how long of a voyage, and then unpacking their ship, right? Stumbling into the inn, just like making a beeline in.
Juniper, you know how to cure venereal disease, right?
I wouldn't say that I do, but my nose is stuff.
Okay. I'm going to need that later. Just letting you know.
It is a port town. It is a a lot of people come and go.
I'll get the paste.
Yeah.
And with that, you all move into the Caustic Cauldron, unless anyone wants to divert from that. Okay. So you go in, and it's a fairly long room. It's like a rectangle, very very simple shape. Staircase all the way at the other end, maybe like 300 feet long. Like it's a big with kind of these communal tables lined up like a fucking Viking mess hall. I don't know. That's the first thing I'm going to here. But it's very communal, where you just like family style, right? Where you just grab a spot. There's a stage at the back where sort of this scrawny, kind of geeky looking human is doing their best to play a harp.
Oh, I can take that.
Like a blonde haired tween, maybe, just like
Oh, no.
frail, thin, like clothes baggily hanging off, has no business being up there, looks like perpetually deer in the headlights,
I'm going to destroy that.
and is
twig.
doing
Children,
his best.
United Campaigns. We love to bully children in this room.
Get off the stage, Bryce.
Yeah, no, every few seconds, a comment, a jeer directed at him goes out. The whole room kind of laughs, and within the first minute of being there, a flagon goes, misses him by about 20 feet. But the messages received.
There's no guard, like no chicken.
No chicken wire. It's not the Blues Brothers. But it,
It's a risky environment.
risky about. So he's a little shaken, like perpetually wet dog. And so in just this like tremendous long bar that's almost the length of the entire place. There's no back room, no kitchen. Right, hearths are built into the back wall. Casting and kegs, and occasionally they step out and come back with another box of big box of produce. But all the cooking, the ordering, it's all happening right in this big communal area. And you see just sailors coming in, greeting each other warmly. Even the fights and the arguments that are happening around these tables seem very steeped in camaraderie. Much like the dock outside, everybody seems to know where to go, what to do. Everyone has a place somewhere to belong. Like this place is just like outside, humming away. And you all walk through the door, stand there awkwardly, and within 2 seconds, people are pushing past you, bumping in and out, running through you as a group, pushing you apart.
I'm
Yeah,
slinking to the
jostle.
kitchen.
Slinking to the kitchen. So do you go up to the bar, the only entrance behind the bar other than like leaping over, are way on either side. There's kind of like some double doors just like, through what's a,
Do you
waist
have a
high.
spare line cook tonight?
You just kind of like call that out to the first person you see.
Yeah,
Or do you look for someone in charge?
Bartender, waitress, I'm not really picky. Whoever looks like they're behind the counter, and ideally most stressed person.
Most stressed person. Give me a perception check.
Yeah.
Can we have some live editing to lower the gain on the audio? I see us peaking a couple times.
So that's a 10.
A 10. With your active perception, this place is a little more
Chef's knife that I still have like on my belt.
Yeah, and I mean you're not the only one coming in with a knife on your hip.
Absolutely. But it is only for cooking.
100%. And like polished steel.
Oh yeah, I've made a deal with you that I'll never use this for combat. This is a specific chef's knife.
Yeah. If it was in combat, it would be 10d8, but
It would go against my moral code.
Yeah, you just crit on carrots.
Yeah,
Carrots,
exactly.
magic. So with a 10, you kind of can't. This place is a little more rustic than you're used to.
Yeah.
So there's no head chef.
Well, to be fair, I've only ever worked on the
Not the
boat.
taco.
You've
bell.
only ever worked on the boat, but you're also used to sort of a more modern feeling, like what a restaurant is.
I can get this place a Michelin star. Just give me a day.
But the problem is you can't tell really who's in charge. Everyone's just going. They're all working together. So you kind of approach the first person you see, and it's this fairly short, maybe like a head and shoulders above the bar, kind of I would describe him as dense, right? Likely it's all muscle, but he's wearing like baggy clothes and you can't really tell. Yeah, kind of little guy
That's on the menu.
with like a big beard that goes like up to his eyes, right? Similar to other sort of diminutive creatures, dwarves and halflings that you've seen before, possibly a distant ancestor of theirs or a species closely related. And you approach him as he's just like tossing with precision drinks up onto the bar, and not a single drop gets spilled. For runners to go and get them out to tables, or sailors to kind of grab it themselves. So you approach this guy like turning around, going, working hard. What do you say?
Do you need a line cook for the night?
Without stopping, he's like, nope, all staffed up.
That was the end of my plan. I depart.
I didn't want it that bad. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. What am I gonna be like? Fire your other cook?
Yeah. No, he just like, what? No. What are you talking about right now?
Understood.
Like, doesn't
Sorry about it.
Cool.
Oh God.
Yeah, you just pow and return back to your party.
So I grab one of the drinks he's throwing on the table. So I grab it. I'm hoping to dazzle him because he's doing his work. So can I roll a persuasion check? So I'm going to ask him, where can I get a free bow?
A free boat? Roll persuasion.
Just pick up on it.
Why would a chef know that? First of all.
He's a bartender.
Okay.
19.
Every bartender I know knows where to find a
19
weapon.
persuasion. Jesus. I was not expecting that. He turns towards you. It's one thing to dismiss someone when you're in the middle of like a rush. It's another to get like a second weird question. So he turns a little slower. He's pissed off now, right? He's been bothered twice, and he takes his kind of like a dirty wet rag off of his belt and like winds it like he's gonna fucking smack you with it. And he stops for a second. He's like, "Wait, what did you say?"
Where can I get a free bow? Bow and arrow.
Kind of lowers,
In this economy?
leans up over the bar, like clearly asking for the drink back. Like his anger is dissipated, and he's just like,
Is he not persuaded?
He's persuaded to pay attention to you.
Okay.
Persuasion is fine instead of performance.
To cure his
but
venereal
As
diseases.
far as where to get a free
This looks like a man who
boat,
needs
he's reaching for the drink, like confused.
I take a sip.
He puts his tiny hands on the bar, and like these long, dirty nails, like crusted with grime, just like scratched lines into the wood. And he pulls himself up so his like chest is up above the bar, and he all of a sudden leaps forward to try to snatch it.
My
with your
drink?
hands. Yeah. Mhm.
But they're free.
Are you fucking insane?
In my insane. That's just rude. What's wrong with you?
I don't have time for this. He calls out, Hoots, come over here. And you see kind of just like a hulking, totally muscle
You know what you
bound,
must do.
long orange hair, like big facial scars, creature walkover, kind of like humanoid features, completely indeterminate gender, just like this massive wall of a creature, walk from behind you and just kind of like place a hand on your shoulder and go to reach for the drink and pull it out of your hand, like gently but firmly. Do you put up any resistance to this?
Yes. Can I roll like intimidation?
By all means.
Okay.
Why do you want to die?
I don't want to die. I don't want to be grabbed.
Mm-hmm.
And
Punishment.
the drinks
Yeah.
for free.
So they're like over you, like hand on your shoulder, reaching around to hold this like flagon of alcohol. So yeah, what do you say or do to intimidate before you roll, and I'll set the DC up for that.
I want to just give him a look.
Mm-hmm.
Just a look.
Just a
and,
look.
and like knock his hand off my back.
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
with my free hand.
Go ahead and roll.
Okay. Okay. Well, that was terrible. That was a 7.
A 7. So this hand on your right shoulder, arm comes around you, and you, with the hand presumably not holding the mug, you just, or maybe like just like flap like a cat, just like
Excuse you.
stop. The hand on your shoulder gets
Biggest
tighter. The rest of you,
Do we see this happen?
the rest of you do see this. Yeah.
Can I roll charisma to get the person to let go?
Yeah, what charisma, what do you want to do? Or like, what's your intention? Like,
we smell weird, right?
you do, you stink. You all stink.
Lovely.
But you're in a place that stinks, and I don't know if your stinks are determinant amongst the larger conglomerate stink.
So PKs.
Yes! PK.
Sometimes you don't know what
Well,
to
there's a
smell.
sponsored
Urbandale
opportunity
makes
shot.
Patron, staff, beverages. You don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I tell them
Mm-hmm.
to lean in and take a sniff, and then I say, "You don't want that drink back."
So you just kind of like devil on the shoulder, like, hey, like,
You don't know where we've been.
yeah.
You don't know how recently you received dental care?
Yeah, I'll say that being in a port city, that's not a particularly strong argument, and I'm gonna set the DC at 25.
What?
Yeah. What's your charisma bonus or your persuasion? Probably
It's 5.
a 5. So you need a nat 20
I believe in you.
in order to be successful. What'd you get?
13.
A 13. So you just kind of like scamper over, like hop up over the show, and you're like, "Hey, buddy, what exactly do you say?" With a 13, what do you say?
Sniff.
So right, hand on Juniper's shoulder, hand. elbow right to like the solar plexus.
This is not the first time that
And
students had that reaction to me.
We should have gone dumpster diving.
At Yo Taco Bell.
take
Like,
3 points of
It's
blood.
never happened in your Every experience there has been shitty.
And you see kind of the little guy from the bar like drop down and run down the length of the bar to get everyone else's attention.
Everyone else's attention.
Yeah.
Okay, so can I send a telepathic message to my peers?
Mhm.
I was going to, do like a spell and like, mess up the guy's mind who has his hand on me.
Mhm.
But I want to tell my peers that we have a problem, and I am sorry.
I've got this.
What's happening? I'm gonna slip into the kitchen.
I would like
Yeah, I would say, no one's. You can absolutely just go back there.
I would like to run up on stage
Yes.
and just like chuck the little twink boy into the crowd,
Yeah.
and then just be like,
Twink is generous.
damn right.
This like a skeletal, like really just kind of like, buddy, like get out of your basement, kind of.
I'd like to throw this Gwyneth Paltrow looking boy into the crowd.
Yeah.
Start cheering raucously.
Yes. And I just,
Performance coming to an end.
Yeah.
and I just yell, what city are we in again? What is the city called?
Eastonport.
Eastern, are you ready to roll?
Yeah, no need to make a performance check. Everyone, especially led by Kels, the whole place erupts in just kind of like a raucous cheer, and a lot of the attention from the patron, anyone who would have been paying attention to this, now has fully turned around at the more interesting thing.
Lovely.
The bar staff themselves, kind of the people running this place, might be paying attention to you being weird and you guys messing with toots. But everyone else, all the patrons, fully have their back to this scene.
Perfect.
You have the crowd's attention.
I would like to perform a Tenacious D level
Yes!
song.
Yeah. Okay, and you're using your lute. You want to use
Yes.
the harp? You want to try using both? What's the...
I'm using my cool lute.
Yeah.
The harp I'm not proficient in, so I'm just using my lute.
Okay. Roll me a performance check.
Gotcha. Wait.
Uh-huh.
Performance is 7 plus. I can't do math. 12.
12. Okay, yeah, no, so...
Compared to the Twinks playing, that's a 20 though.
Yeah, what they say is that, like, in D&D, like, 30 is, like, godlike, right? 10 is average, right? That's what
Above
any
average,
normal
okay.
person could do who's not bad at something, like, actively. And with a 13 or 12? 12. You are just being, like, the bare minimum above average, trying to improvise, really trying to seize your moment. You're a little, like, panicked, right? You're trying to show off, and maybe that wasn't the best call right now.
Maybe not.
But in comparison to what this kid was doing, they fucking lose it. You are being, within minutes, you're being pelted by coin. I mean, they're copper coins, right? It's the equivalent of throwing, like, pennies at a stripper, where it's almost insulting. It's gonna, like, hurt, right?
Right. I'll take it.
But it's not like an empty mug.
Yeah, exactly.
So, you're just being pelted with, like, low coinage. And you fully have the audience's attention. Back towards the bar.
I'm in the kitchen now.
You're in the kitchen now, which, again, kitchen is just this whole length open area behind the bar.
Good enough.
Yeah, and they're kind of in a chaos, and sort of that little bearded
And I have a plus
dude.
4 in deception, so that's chaos
Plus
is even
4.
better.
No, that's so that little dude is, like, kind of ravenously explaining and pointing back at Juniper and Kels. And so you kind of get to the point where there's that cluster of them. What do you want to do there? Do you want to
I'm near
past
the
them?
guy?
Yeah,
I was hoping to be far.
No, they're only maybe like 10 feet down. He's kind of talking to someone a little more finer dressed. Looks to look maybe a little more running things back there. You just, like, complaining. Yeah.
And he's talking to the little guy?
Yeah, little guy's your back to.
Okay. I'm trying to figure out if I can gaslight the little guy, because originally I was going to surpass him entirely. I think I'm gonna gaslight.
Okay.
Fuck, that's a 1. Never mind. I'm gonna gaslight.
To do what?
Huh?
To do what?
To gaslight. Yes.
So like for deception.
You
something
need
deception.
some help. Yeah, so it'll be 1 + 4, but it's a 1, so it's a 1.
Okay,
The
so
whole time. Yeah, I've always been here.
you helping out in the kitchen.
Yeah,
Okay,
totally.
so we'll call it persuasion. And you rolled a nat 1.
I sure did.
So yeah, you come up behind him. You kind of you really crouch down. You like get on his level. You grab his head, which small body, slightly average size head. So you just kind of like turn it toward you, like you're like an inch away. You're like almost nose to nose, and you're like, listen, look, I can help you. Pull out your knife. And you start sweating, and he's like screaming and breaks away from you. The person he was talking to looks sort of
They look capable of punching me.
Yeah, they're sort of elven-like features, similar to the
I'm not afraid of
Eladrin,
elves.
but they don't have they have more rounded ears. They like step towards you, and in like 2 moves, like shoulder, wrist, disarm you, and you drop your knife. Standing over you, just like action pose,
Yeah.
ready to fucking.
Do I have the opportunity to respond, or am I
Yeah,
just
please.
totally taking a gas?
Take a response if you want. Yeah.
Yeah. I come from a very esteemed cooking establishment, and I was trying to offer you guys. A critique is so harsh. I was trying to liven this place up a little.
In this place.
Yeah,
And they look
it's
at
not
the,
used for combat. I'm gonna slowly pick that up and put that back.
If you do that, a boot heel comes down on your wrist. It's.
Do I grab the knife?
I would say you're close to the knife,
Mhm.
but it's not like firm, like trying to hurt you, but it's like, don't you fucking dare. Yeah. So the owner speaks. Is like gestures towards Oberon. Is like, I think this place is lively enough, and then looks towards Toots and Kels and Juniper, and being like, "What are you all trying to start here?"
So we're new in town, and we're very hungry.
You don't say.
And I was going to work for my dinner. I don't really know what's going on over there.
I'm working.
Yeah, that one is certainly working. We have provided you with free entertainment. Look at this place before we arrived.
You're trying to work. So why did you come up to Magnus when you're trying to come work?
Because it's very busy here, and I could not see you. My eyesight's very bad. I'm a great cook. My distance is kind of fucked. I need glasses.
Roll a persuasion.
Oh, disadvantage?
Yeah.
Well, that was a 4, so it's probably going to be a 4. It's a 4.
It's a 4.
Wait, well, modifiers. Do I still have modifiers with disadvantage?
Yes, yeah.
What is this, persuasion?
Persuasion.
So it's a +3, so it's a 7.
A 7. They look at the rest of the party. Calagon
I take
and
no responsibility for this.
John, presumably still standing by the entrance, or is John?
I'm frozen in place, just surveying.
So the
everything
two
that's
of you
happening.
just like with background characters in a cartoon, just like standing there, and just like all of this shit.
See how new we are? Don't they look so confused?
This elf reaches
This is my
down,
second language. I'm not very good at it. You have to forgive me.
reach down and pick up the knife and looks at it, like inspects it kind of carefully. Says, "Where'd you say you were from?"
Very far away.
Very far away. Mainland?
Not quite.
Then where?
So you know how there's that big vortex in the sky?
She looks down at you kind of slowly. No.
Well, I'm not from the vortex. I'm beyond the vortex.
Beyond the vortex. Okay.
You can see why I'm so confused and discombobulated and bad at talking. It really has taken a lot out of me. Would you like to smell how, like, washed up we are? It's been a very long day. Couple days.
And you're a cook, you say?
Yes.
From beyond the vortex.
Yes. It's not really this. I was cooking on a ship. It wasn't really my first choice, but it was available work, and they paid health benefits. So really, I mean, how could I not? And the ship got stuck in the vortex. I don't really know how. I was below decks. I don't pilot things. I cook, and then we got washed up on a beach, and now my loose group of
Esteemed
associates,
colleagues.
yes, my esteemed colleagues, are very hungry, and I'm trying to, they're all trying different ways to sustain themselves, and I don't like to ask for charity, so I was hoping to earn my keep.
Looking down at you, looking back at you, but still just being like held. The creature behind you is just like just kind of waiting for orders.
Oh, they're so drunk. You have to forgive them.
About that one sip.
You shout that down the bar.
Yes, and then I go sniff.
The elf recoils a little bit and pulls like the back of her heel off of your wrist. Takes her knife, jams it into the wooden bar.
It's a fine blade.
Yeah,
It's old now, but
it is. Okay. And none of you are Ilarian?
I really don't know what that means, I'll be honest with you.
Uh-huh.
But there's nothing wrong with Ilarians as far as we know. We support them.
We do not discriminate.
Whatever they are.
We are culturally agnostic. No biases.
We don't believe in
She's
the existence
kind
of
kind of stone-faced, but you get the impression that she thinks you're like either insane or stupid.
Mostly stupid.
Mostly, you just say, "Look, I'm just dumb. I'm sorry."
It's a culinary school. If you want me to do math, you're shit out of luck. There are only some things I'm competent at. Talking is not one of them.
Look, you want to earn your keep? I'll let you earn your keep. And she, motions towards you. Creature pulls its hands off of you, and those two by the door, those are yours too?
Yep.
And she gestures to John and Cal to come back behind the bar. You'll work for me tonight.
Absolutely.
I'm not going to pay you. I'll let you sleep. Don't fuck up.
This is a better deal than I ever could have hoped to barter for. Thank you.
Takes the
This
knife
opportunity.
out of the bar, flips it up in her hand, says, "And I'll be holding on to this." She kind of lowers it to her hip. Says, "All right, Magnus, run them through what they need to know.
Oh,
They're
they're
on
cooking
staff tonight."
Oh,
We'll see.
I vouch for myself. I do not know these people that well. We washed up on the same beach. Can they chop an onion? Unknown.
The elf looks over all of you for a second. Cook, music. Keep this one out of trouble. Works the bar.
waits tables.
Waits tables.
Yes.
All right.
Yep.
And you too.
Waits tables.
Yeah.
Waits tables.
Takes the knife. I don't want to be dealing with anything else tonight. that
Absolutely
clear?
not. Yeah, all good. You will not deal with a single thing.
Don't fuck with Magnus. You fuck with Magnus. You fuck with Toots. You fuck with Cogston. Is that clear?
I finished my church.
Aye, aye.
Defiantly.
Magnus just leaps up, grabs it out of your hand, just fucking mumbles to himself, fucking puts it back. There's clearly a sailor in the back. His friends have all gotten drinks, but he's just sitting there, like, kind of sad. And says, "All right, no bullshit," and walks off.
Am I still
Did they-
performing during all this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did they take my knife with them, or can I use it to cook?
Takes the knife with you, collateral.
Okay, but I'll get it back at the end.
That was never spoken, but I feel like, if you want to roll insight, I can give you some feedback on that.
The 7. I don't know.
A 7, it's a nice knife. You don't know if you're going to be getting it back or not. And you can kind of keep in mind like when you're gonna want to kind of press that
I
topic.
have other weapons I can use to get that knife back.
But yeah, so there you go. And that 12 will maintain that 12 for the rest. So waitstaff, Magnus takes you down to the end of the bar, is running through stuff. The waitstaff, you get handed off to kind of another elf, this one with pointed ears, very Eladrin looking like the ones you saw in the forest, kind of like a deep verdant green skin. And he takes you through kind of the basics of just taking orders, going up and down, right, getting up to the bar, like what soup looks like, what bread looks like I'm not I'm not training you. You can figure it out, get the things that look right, don't fuck up without like too much direction. I don't want to be like babysitting you all night. Everyone just got off the ships. The harbor's closing down for the day. It's going to get busy. And, through this whole thing, more and more people are filling up the hall. It's getting louder and louder. So for the two of you running the wait staff, you can go ahead and give me just like a straight up either intelligence roll or a dex roll. Whatever you think can serve you better as kind of this wait staff. And I'll say, intelligence is kind of your problem solving. You're going to go a little bit slower, but you're going to fuck up less. And dex, you might not get it right every time, but you're going to get things done quickly, which can also be quite virtuous in this situation.
Okay, I'm going to roll for dex because I have +1 and intelligence is 0.
Okay.
So, 13.
13. And that was intelligence, not dex?
It was dex.
Oh, that was dex. Sorry. And John?
I'm gonna do dex as well.
Okay.
Also 13. Okay.
Okay. We're going to keep that 12. You do middling all night. It holds people's attention. It goes in waves. That kind of like sudden, immediate excitement broke. And you hold people's attention. Cal, what did I say you were going to be doing?
I didn't agree to work here. I'm just going to hang out.
Yeah, but what did Cogstein say for you to do?
He said work the bar, and I looked at him and didn't respond.
Okay. And you're just going to fully... What are you going to do? Are you going to hang out behind the bar? Are you going to go sit?
I'll go sit probably near the exit.
Sit near the exit. Okay.
Just assuming, not judging, but assuming that the party will get up to their eyeballs in some shit, and I'll need to kick the door open and maybe hurt someone.
Roll insight for me. Okay. Roll insight for me. Good at that.
That's a total of 16.
Which actually, that's pretty high for, you've traveled a lot in your homeland.
Yeah.
You traveled a lot. I don't know how much time you spent in cities, especially in establishments like this. I feel like that was pretty uncommon if it ever happened. So being in a pretty foreign environment, you kind of read the place pretty well. There's something with your engagement with animals and the natural world that you see kind of the collections of leadership and pack animal behavior.
Yeah, they look like a bunch of baboons fighting over trash.
Yeah, and so you surprisingly feel pretty comfortable of knowing like who you're keeping an eye on, and you're like, oh yeah, that's gonna end in a fight. That person's gonna get beat up. They're quiet. They seem to be having a good time. Sure. Reading them pretty well. And honestly, when Magnus had turned around to start talking about like the different taps at the bar and like how to make drinks, which are just beer and something else poured into it. Yeah. He seemed almost like a little bit relieved to see you just kind of like fuck off. He's just like, whatever. And just like goes back to it. And honestly, just you sitting there by the door looking almost like a bouncer. He like had his eye on you for a few minutes, but doesn't mind. Now the two of you who are cooking, correct? No,
Just stay out of trouble.
just stay out of trouble. Is that what I said?
Yes.
Okay, cool. For a chef, I'm trying to think of what kind of role. It depends what you're trying to
Based
do.
on advantage, I want to say deception.
Deception.
For that.
How would you, who are you deceiving?
I'm deceiving the person that I am worthy of giving you my knife back.
Yeah, but, are you actually being proficient in cooking?
Hopefully, I haven't rolled yet.
We can do,
I have a +3 for sleight of hand.
Yeah, I was going to say sleight of hand
either dex or sleight of
something
hand.
like that. Yeah. And you've been, you haven't been trained your whole life as a chef, but you've been
I've done
working
it for a good
competently
couple
as a chef.
months.
So, roll sleight of hand with advantage.
Perfect.
I feel like is a good way to.
Good. First was a 3.
Okay.
That's an 18.
An 18.
Slightly slanted. +3, so that's a 21.
Yeah, so a 21 on. Again, the bar is low.
Yeah, I don't have a lot to work with. I'm just
This is
recreating
a
mozzarella stick.
frontier port city where the people working here, their entertainment is shit, their drink is shit. It's old. It's what they carried on their own ships. It's not good. It's just for the sailors, essentially.
But it's theirs.
But it's there, right? And so they swill it down. But it's the same shit they drink on the ship. Their captain sells it whatever's left back, and they have a terrible voyage home, right? A lot of it's aged and old because this is the whole audience. And the food isn't much better. They've got a lot of fresh
But my
ingredients
technique
to work with. Yeah, but it's uninspired. The fish are kind of up to snuff for the sailors that pull them out of sea on the way here, right? All they do is run supplies. And as you're cooking, you hear people complain, and as people are kind of giving you the layout of the kitchen, you hear that kind of bitching slip into them talking about it, of just all the good shit goes to Soul Card, all the good ingredients, all the good food, it all goes to the college. They just get whatever is kind of left. Or whatever is
when
orange.
the 20s, lobster was a food of the people, and then it got co-opted by the rich.
Mhm.
That's kind of the shit I want to pull here. I want to take their basic things and reimagine them into it's something a little new, seasoned in a way they haven't had it before.
Yeah.
It's not upscale, but it is doing. It's a 21.
Yeah.
I'm 21.
So you see what's going on here, and there's kind of that prevalent, downtroddenness, but you come in with fresh eyes, and you're like, oh, I'm going to take, you try a bit of the whitefish that comes out, you try a bit of the kind of more salmon colored, this richer, there's eels and some sort of cephalopod creature, right, that they're dicing up and just boiling alive, just these weird confused ways where they're we got to make it hot, we got to make it dead, we got to get it out now. And you just take that little extra time and you put these things together, and you take some wine and use it to cook, and they're like, what the fuck, we sell it. And yeah, no, the basic orders is it's this meat, it's that meat, right? It starts coming out different. You take the time to garnish it.
Yes.
There's a little green on there. And suddenly the rate of orders that was coming in when you stepped over there doubles, triples. You are going nuts, and everybody starts taking
This is the best
orders
fiscal
from
night
you.
they've ever had.
Yeah, no, everyone starts taking their orders from you. They're like, what'd you do? They're kind of watching, and sure enough, everyone's like, yes, chef. Okay. We should really whip them into shape. And you're like, okay, you're like, okay, you got knife skills or like saucier, like just the basics of how a kitchen
It's
works.
like that scene in Ratatouille.
Yeah. So you got like the basics of how a kitchen works going, and it's less of like rabble up and down. Like, I don't know, dude making bread is kind of over there. Like they're working as a unit now. And it's just magnificent. Yeah. You can kind of like spot Cogston at the other end, just like, okay.
Get that fucking knife back.
Yeah, they're watching like every time someone hands like a copper, whispers something, and suddenly people start passing silver pieces too across the bar. And it's like, okay, like yeah. And Kels, what are you getting up to?
First of all, I'm cheering still for Oberon. You said there's a hearth, right? Like a big one?
Yeah, like a big heart, and like it's all the way at the back end, right? If it's just a long rectangle, right, from the front door, it's all the way at the back, and there's some behind the bar that keep the whole place warm.
Are there people by the hearths?
Yeah. It seems to be sort of like a separate gathering spot where like the family style tables like end, and there's maybe, like 20 odd feet, like a pretty open area where people are sitting around tables playing like dice and cards and stuff like that.
I would like to find the drunkest group of people by a hearth.
Yeah.
Specifically because it's warm.
Yeah.
And I'd like to go there.
Okay. Yeah, no, I would say that with the others like being behind the bar, and you see sorry, my brain is firing off. You see Yev just like going at it. Yeah, you go past, and as things start to heat up, you're all the way at the back around these like dice and card tables, and I mean, this seems to be like the captain's area. Okay.
Does not occur to me.
No. But I think even you're able to see, especially with your expertise, that they're a little more, slightly more finely dressed. They're not in rags, they're in coats, right? These are little things that you can see of like, oh, that's a funny hat. Why does no one else back there have funny hats?
Power structures do not occur to me.
But you want a funny
However, funny hats do.
Yeah, no, so they're just a little different, and like even for you can see that they're different. They're somewhat different. Yeah, and I mean they're sloshed as hell, and they're like throwing out like gold and silver on a table, like they're gambling very quickly, and money is lost and won back and forth. Knives come down, fists go after a little bit. But like there's no air of menace, but it's pretty lively back here.
Okay, well that is all funny.
Mm-hmm.
I like that sometimes they hit each other.
Mm-hmm.
I just take a seat at the table and start taking drinks from whoever puts it down nearest to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just watch it all unfold.
Do you find I want to get some information here. Do you want to like find an empty seat at the table, or do you just kind of weasel your way in?
I just squeeze in.
You just squeeze in?
Yeah.
Do you go to the close one? Do you like make a round, or do you just like go to the closest one?
I am attracted to the person with the silliest hat.
Yeah. I mean, there is, grizzled pirate captain, eye patch, one with like a long ponytail, like down to her knees, right? Like big jacket with like fucking spikes in it, a lot of feathers in the hat. Like it's like insane. It's like Mad Max meets like cartoon pirate.
Is she also drunk?
Oh, blasted.
How tall is she?
Like 6'5", like a absolute just like monster of a human.
I say, wow, you're so beautiful, and then I take her drink and take a sip and put it back down.
Yeah.
And then I take another few swipes at her feathers.
Roll me performance with just straight. I was gonna say disadvantage, but You haven't done anything like explicitly
Yeah.
antagonistic. Yeah, I feel like there's some plausible deniability here.
That is a 23.
You come up and you go like full like maximum adorable, like you put your hands up on the table, your chin, and then she sets her drink down and like throws some dice, like fuck you, I'm gonna get this, and like throws down a hand of cards and somehow has dice and cards. I don't know. And you just like two hands like take the drink and just like tip it down. And you look up and you're like, hi. Like, and you play with the feathers, and like her eyes go huge and her arms just like go around you, and she pulls like your upper torso like halfway into her lap, starts petting you, and like continues to play like cards in front of your face, just like around her arms, like you stay right there, you just stay right there. You're so good. You're so good. Oh my god! And like it's continuing to play.
Can I still reach drinks?
Yeah, no, you like take you're just like trying to finish off everyone's drink.
Then this is perfect.
Yeah, no, one dude stands up, and he just like hands up and goes and like brandishes a knife, like, hey, don't you fucking touch that. And this woman like stands up to her full height, just like fully decks him in the face. You hear a crunch of his nose breaking, blood all over his mouth. He falls out of his chair. She takes his like pile of gold and just slides it back towards her, sits down and continues petting you, just like drinking very intensely. Yeah. Just absolutely falling in love with you. Yes.
Casted uwu on her.
Yeah, no, 100%. And with our two kind of running the orders, you do okay. You've gotten that half-ass strength, like you can figure out, and you start to get a handle on things. They only have like a couple fish. They only make like a couple things. You know what I mean? And people are either going up to the bar or they're telling you what they want, and you seem to just be able to walk up to whoever and say, "Oh, give me this and this," and within a couple seconds you get it and continue. Right? You can figure it out, but as Yev starts firing off, you get a handle on it, and then it changes. And so with 2 13s in your decks here, you're able to keep track of things, but you end up having now to run up and down the bar to like different stations, right? So you get a handle on one thing and you navigate and you start to feel comfortable, then your whole world is upended, and suddenly you're going down there for the bread and you're going down there for the drinks, and the fish looks different, right? With no explanation. And it looks different when Yev makes it looks different when the person Yev said to make it. And you're just trying to hold on the best you can, but you start to slow down. And at all moments, you're just overwhelmed with everyone shouting at you, overwhelming you with orders. And the night sort of carries on this way. Eventually, the two of you especially are just like dogged tired after like this whole day, and now you're on your feet like doing sprints, like you're just going back and forth. So you are just like completely exhausted. Yev, I don't know, like I'll let you say, is this exhausting for you? Is this revitalizing?
A little bit of both.
A little bit
like,
of both.
It's good to be competent, and it's good that after so much groveling and so much missing with my Eldritch Blast, I can do something successfully. So this is rewarding in like a very existential way, but it is still like exhausting work. Yeah. Like I'm going to get off shift, I'm going to go lay down on the floor. Yeah,
you're done. Okay. So, just like our MFA classes. Oberon, yes. When's the last time you had it? Because this is like hours. Like, are you taking breaks? Because I feel like if you take breaks, you get glass thrown at you. Which like you can do, and it'll be fine.
Right.
Like you'll probably be okay. They're smashed.
Right.
But like,
I feel like I don't want to disappoint my audience, so I don't take any breaks. Just singing and playing the whole night through.
Yeah, you get a few cheers, a couple times you really send something off and like you get everyone's attention. But for the most part, they're really liking it. And, you even get a few people walk up and throw some silver pieces, maybe one gold on the stage for you. And the rest of you carry on. Calagon, you're observing all of this. No ruckus or disorder too intense happens. It all, kind of stays at the same level. Is there anything you want to particularly look for?
No.
As you're kind of locked down here?
No, I just keep our food and water supply close at hand because the last time I saw Kels charm a bunch of sailors, we shipwrecked and went to purgatory. So
Yeah.
I'm just sort of ready for whatever.
So it's just kind of set down in front. Okay, yeah, absolutely. That's I completely forgot you had that. So yeah, it's in the bar. It's at the end. I would say give me with your perception, with your intelligence, you're kind of seeing money talks here in a way that you're not used to. And I think also with your outsider perspective, you get the sense that what you're carrying, you could probably sell. That there's a buyer here. This is a place of buyers that seem to be everyone's interested in giving gold. And you feel like they would be just as interested in giving you gold for your stuff. So if you want to pursue that opportunity or not, but you kind of get a sense of you can leverage all this stuff you have. The crate does look pretty similar to crates they were moving outside, and it all kind of works in your brain if you took an interest in that. Okay. So the night sort of winds down. Does anybody have anything explicit they want to do while they're here?
I mean, John is kind of resentful because this is like good, hard, honest work. And he's like,
Disgusting.
it's
But
gross.
you are dashing in and amongst the crowd.
Very drunken sailors who have very open wallets. I mean, granted, they don't have a lot of money, but like, John hasn't stolen anything. John hasn't cheated anyone out of anything. John's
Days.
for me, for a month now.
Yeah, right. Oh my god, because you were working on the ship.
I was working on the ship, exactly. And so basically he's getting antsy.
Yeah.
Or I'm getting antsy. And I like third person. I want some shit to go down.
Yeah.
So but the night's winding down, so I can't start anything, or
between the beginning and the end, you just tell me what you want. Is it towards the beginning? Is it towards the middle? I mean, you have people constantly, I'll say this, through your entire job here. People are always looking at you because you're the one carrying a tray. Okay? So that's definitely something John would notice, that there are a lot of eyes on you. And you can't walk more than 5 feet without someone either trying to get your attention, this goes for Juniper as well, someone trying to get your attention, or someone yelling something at you, and you're like, got it, and move on. So you're in this kind of weird position where you're both unnoticed, right? In the way a service person is unnoticed as a human being, but you're being very observed.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you can do something with that, or if you want to take advantage of a particular moment in Oberon's, we can roll and see if that kind of happens. Leave it up to the guy.
Like I'm thinking Oberon has like this he just like shreds in this lute solo, and he's just like killing it.
Yeah.
And everyone's staring at him.
Yeah.
And so this is an opportunity for me to do something.
Yeah.
So,
I definitely said with Oberon, there's some moments that people are like more fixated on.
Exactly.
So if you're kind of like watching for that, kind of towards the latter half of the night, you can catch one of these moments and roll a sleight of hand, and we'll see what your kind of bounty is.
Yeah, I would love to do that.
Cool. Now, again, there is a risk, right? You're trying to position yourself off of this moment where everyone's back is turned for a quick sec, right? So you're getting in position, you're ready, you've been kind of building a plan of like, okay, music's getting really good, I'm gonna go towards the bar where people aren't looking, and all the cooks have their backs to me as well. But that's still not a guarantee.
I mean, I did have another plan where I was going to go to where the drunken rich people are, where Kels is, and try to poison one of them. And take them for all they're worth. So that's my other plan. In addition to like pickpocketing, like I was thinking something like that.
Yeah. So I'll say, with the pickpocketing, you and Juniper, maybe they're not. I would say they're maybe not really allowing you guys to take orders over there. And if you walk in there to try to serve them, they're like, no, because the others you see them being handed like tips, right? That you guys aren't really privy to. So you might have a harder time of like weaseling your way in there. But you can try for that. These are both viable directions.
I want to try weaseling my way in there.
Okay. You want to just like wait for a moment that the other service staff has kind of left a bit of a gap, so you can just sneak in.
I mean, I am a master of disguise, so So like, I kind of want to come across as someone who's supposed to be there.
Yeah.
And try to, I don't know, like wreak some havoc.
Okay, so I'll say either a performance or a deception check.
Okay. How about performance?
Performance. Go ahead, roll performance.
That's 11.
An 11. So it's busy, as we established, with Yev firing things off and Oberon. So you don't have a lot of time to kind of study the rest of the service staff to see. So you do kind of your best approximation, but I think even with an 11, they're a little kind of smashed and Kels is there. So if you're even with an 11, if you're looking for a way in, you can kind of find the same like statuesque pirate captain. And like who's being preoccupied by Kels, and that might be a good mark. But like the rest of them, probably couldn't get away. But there's one who's also a little distracted with a kitty cat in the lap.
Gotcha.
So if how do you play? You come up, like touch the shoulder, like, hey, what can I do for you? How can I help you? Like, what's the move?
I think I like the idea of like touching your shoulder, being like, hey, how can I help you? And then kind of like making eye contact with Kels. Yeah. And Kels is just like being cute. And I'm like, hey, Kels, do you want to just like distract her extra much? And I'll fuck with this situation.
Are we playing a game? What's happening?
We're playing a really fun game where I kill this person. It's okay if you don't want to do it. I'm just going to do it anyway.
I will say, like, John's also a rabbit who's also, like, cute, and this person's very susceptible to that.
I'm very cute.
That's true. That's a good point. And you said you rolled performance?
Yes, I did.
Okay. I'll say if you feel, and this is like your total sincerity, if you feel like John is savvy enough that he can clock what Kels is doing.
I'm not doing anything.
What Kels is doing. And give a similar
nothing.
performance. Right?
Okay.
Do you think you're savvy enough to notice that? Do you feel like you want to demoralize yourself?
Yeah, I don't think I would have stooped that low. No offense.
I appreciate the sincerity,
Of course.
You come in. Kels only like kind of gets it, but the good news is Kels doesn't really have to do anything.
Yeah, Kels can just chill.
Yeah, so you go and the captain, she's like on a winning streak. She's paying Kels and just like without really acknowledging you, hands you like the empty like flagon.
Yeah.
And pushes a plate on the floor.
Yeah.
And I feel like you're that like you kind of like catch it.
Yeah.
And she just like points at it more and is like throwing down cards, rolling dice, taking money, like menacing anyone who disagrees with her. As she like scoops some gold, she hands you like 2 silver pieces.
Here's my situation.
Yeah.
I really want to bring her a bar tab that looks like a bar tab, but is actually some kind of like promissory note saying she's going to give me everything upon her death. and I want her to sign it.
Yeah.
I don't think it needs to be notarized. We don't need the old notary. But I want to obtain this document, and then I want to kill her.
Look, all I'm saying is that in Neophyte Chronicles' other campaign, I did play as somebody that has usurped a pirate ship, and it's
There you
it's
go.
weird that it's happened.
It's happening again.
And it happened again, Toby. Your game.
Damn, you spoiled my next year of plot.
Yeah. So I mean, in total honesty, how comfortable do you feel like you would be able to come up with some sort of document like that while you're working? Or do you wait till the end to find a tab? This seems to be like a pay-as-you-go situation.
Mm-hmm.
And for the people back here, it's not like a pound-for-pound kind of thing. They're just kind of throwing money around. And it's fine. You know what I mean?
Okay, so there's not like open tabs or anything.
The tab is very open.
The tab is very open. It's not a closed tab. It's like,
yeah. So, versus everybody in kind of the main area who's paying like per item per round. These people back here are moving money into the hands of the wait staff, and I mean, I don't know if they drink for free necessarily, but they run the ships. They bring everyone in here, and there's maybe only like 10 of them, 20 of them. Versus everyone like fully crewed ships that are just like loaded. So, they're just kind of paying in like in a wealthy sort of way, right? The money just goes out, and it's probably about right, if not more.
Yeah.
So there's not like a tab, right? You don't see them paying, but you get the sense that you could propose an item, propose a tab, propose something, and overcharge them for it pretty easily. But as far as like drafting up a legal document, I think that's, you might need some time.
Right.
This is why we should have taken the LSATs to the college quickly.
And like this is your break-in into this area.
Right.
You don't know if it's going to happen again. And she's loose with money. She's preoccupied by Kels. That's a very interesting idea, but you got like a brief window here to pull something and get a few more coins.
So I could like really upcharge her for some swill, essentially.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I could do that. What I could do is like upcharge her and keep pocketing the change and not like paying out the house.
It seems to be
a complete asshole.
Yeah, and like from seeing the other like waiters and stuff, that's kind of the racket they're running.
That's what they're on.
That seems to be how they're getting paid and how the whole place is getting paid, right?
Okay.
This is the real priority is coming into them and
okay. Yeah, I can do that. It's not as exciting as what I wanted to do.
No, but drafting up, where do you find the ink? Where do you find the
It's
paper?
true, and I have 0 intelligence modifier. It's not gonna happen for me.
Right, so sliding a document.
No.
It's a good idea.
It is
I think
exciting.
the logistics are a little outside the scope of
That's
this
fair.
model.
That's fair.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
John
Right.
Black Widow Travolta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
T triple.
So if you want to run just a deception roll, I can even give you deception with advantage. So roll twice, add your modifier to both to either, right? To each, and pick the highest.
Okay. This is both 15.
Okay. No, 15 is good. Well above average. Yeah, I would say if you want to narrate what you do, lay it on me. But whatever you do, you walk out with like a fat gold piece in your pocket, which is like enough to like it just food costs, like that can cover you for like a couple months.
And since I am ultimately chaotic good, this is something I'd totally be willing to share with the party. Yeah. I would split it with everyone.
Yeah, and I'd say as do you want to narrate what you do to get this?
I mean, it's simple. It's just upcharging her for the swill. Like, it's nothing too exciting.
So you
but
take the dishes and like fully like from the next table over, like a drink comes down, and before they notice, you like switch it over.
Yeah, I switch around.
Yeah,
I like
yeah, and you wait until like she pulls some money in, and you pop it down right away, and she takes the largest coin on top and just flicks it to you. Yeah, you're gone, and as you walk off back into the crowd, right as you're leaving, and walking back into sort of the family style tables, Cogstein, the like humanoid elf, she sees, like, her attention comes back to you, and you got this, no problem. So yeah, you're up a gold piece. Your stage is littered in coin.
Love it.
The night sort of winds down here, and it clears out, and those who haven't cleared out have gone upstairs to sleep. That some of them, who want to afford a good night's sleep, have gotten some beds. The rest of them presumably made their way back to the ship. Some of them are just passed out in the courtyard of this port. Some of them are just fully on the tables, in which case it's service staff, and the little guy Magnus points to you, Cal, to start like moving these like limp sailors. Just like, I don't care where they are, just out. Just get them out of here. And so, the three
Sailors
of you
are dressed in like just shirt and pants, or
yeah, shirt and pants. Some of them have some hats, some of them
Like
don't have
how
shirts, some
we
of
have
them
to
don't have
specify
hats.
who is wearing pants and who's not.
yeah,
important.
you got to check in this campaign because I
Mhm.
I want to grab by the back of the collar,
Yeah.
and then the back of the pants, and you can't do that if someone's Donald Ducking it.
Yeah, I would say
And then
most
it's
of them
kind of a big like half circle swooshing motion. I'm gonna see how far across the street I can throw them from the doorway.
Yeah, like give me a strength.
It's a shot putting
Yeah,
situation.
Right. No, if I step over the line, it's cheating.
Yeah.
Right,
I have
right,
to,
right.
from within the restaurant.
And I think the three of you like all kind of get into like the two of
Human
you are
missile.
competing, and Calagon's like nice one, like
Who's got
I'm able to throw.
Okay,
who's got a
you kind of
Very small
Yeah,
sailors.
you
No, well,
drag them, and it's more like
You relocate the twink from Earth.
Wait, I want to
Easily
throw the
tossed.
twink. I want to throw the twink.
what's this with the brooms?
You already threw the twig.
Look, this
What
is
am I
not a
thinking of?
regulation
Oh,
competition.
is that curling?
Curling. It's
Curling.
more like
It's like
curling. where
curling.
you're playing- they don't go very far, but it's more like curling when
No,
the two of you
I'm
do
doing
it.
shot
Yeah.
put. You're curling.
There you
I'm
go.
fine with that.
Yeah.
It's fine. If it was a regulation competition, we'd have to throw the same person. Like, we get the twink, I throw him, we drag him back. You throw him, might tie rope to him to make it go faster.
Can we do that?
Do we as an institution have to issue an apology?
Just
Is my
roll the
question.
strength.
Mhm.
22.
Flat strength. 22. Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I need to know what's across the street.
What's that?
What is across the street that I could hit?
I would say the door faces like towards the door, docks, kind of warehouse, so it's just kind of like open. The other businesses are, if you're walking out of the door, like to the right,
they're not
between
going
the ships in here.
to. They're not going to skip into the bay or anything.
No, they're not going to skip into the bay. That's more perpendicular to you. So you just, they go clear like 100 feet into the courtyard. You just like feed them like a bag. Like you just whip them way down there.
Are they dead?
Are they dead? No, they're drunk, so they're keeping it limp. Like those people who survive tornadoes, right? They're like just go limp, and somehow I didn't die, get flung from a So they're drunk, so they survive. You guys get that done. Kind of in the middle of it, Cogstein walks back down the bar, upstairs for a minute, and then kind of hang around that back area. And she walks down the behind the bar towards you as you're like finishing up, maybe like delegating some cleaning or something. And she's like, "It's not bad. It's not bad." And what'd you say your name was?
Yevgeniya Velokova. I haven't had the opportunity to say it to anyone at this table because no one asks.
Yeah, that's stupid. I'm gonna call you Yev.
Harsh.
You feel like you've heard that one
Yeah.
from non-Russian speakers, just like total foreigner. No, I'm gonna shorten and
Absolutely.
anglicize
That's not even the
your
proper
name.
way it's shortened traditionally, but
Yeah,
Americans.
yeah. No, she's like, yeah. So, pretty good job. She looks at the stage. I don't know if you're still playing. You're just like gassed up.
I'm still going.
Kind of like Benny Hillett as they're like tossing bodies.
Pretty much.
Like really. So the money is all still there. And she points to the big creature that had grabbed Juniper. And she's like, Toots, and Toots walks over and starts with like just a big burlap sack, right? Just like sweeping the money off the stage into there. Do you want to like,
Whoa.
you do anything in response? Because he just like a coin pusher, just like.
I'd like to. So I acknowledge he's huge and could kill me in like 2 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to just like softly just grab his hand,
Mm-hmm.
just look him in the eyes and be like, "Hey, you have beautiful."
Roll. What specific effect are you trying to achieve?
I am trying to seduce him in order to. I mean, I guess it's like persuade him.
Yeah.
I guess to not or to like give me some of that money back.
Yeah, so you're just
Okay, so
trying to
you
like
smell
flirt a little bit.
your
Yeah.
fur is matted, you almost died.
Maybe he's into that. I don't know.
Sitting around in the dirt.
I'm not gonna kink shame
An
him.
episode.
I'm gonna say just do a
But you
flat
are-
charisma check.
Gotcha.
So just roll.
Yeah.
Excuse me, add your
It's a
charisma.
sweaty, smelly rock star.
Mhm.
Ooh, 10.
10. What's your charisma modifier?
That's with my charisma.
With your
modifier.
charisma modifier, Hoots looks at you, just like wide-eyed. I mean, they are just like shimmering, like aquamarine pools. Like it's really quite enchanting.
Right.
But like they are like buried in this like meaty, thick face, right? Of this like massive creature who, like, to sweep things off of the stage, they're bent over at like almost 90 degrees, so they're looking like way up at you.
Mhm.
Can we as a group roll to give him
Yes.
damage?
Yeah, fuck yeah. What do you want to do? Please help me. A middling roll is the last thing I need here.
How can we encourage this romance to bloom? I push out like candlesticks to like create atmosphere. I like start pouring wine.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. I want like
And
Lady the Tramp, like
two of
spaghetti
you
scene.
like stop for a second and start running it over to them.
Right.
Like a tablecloth,
Right.
start the cloth and put it on a table.
Yeah, so you start to orchestrate like
I
turning
just-
this.
Oh, this is so romantic!
Yeah.
Can I play the violin? Maybe?
Do we have a
Is that something
There's
I can-
no violin. There
There's
is a
no-
harp. There's
I
a
can play the
started
harp.
harp. Yeah. Are
Yeah,
you
I
proficient
am
with
not, but I
You roll
try
performance.
something. Okay.
Roll performance.
Yes, it's with feeling. Yeah.
You roll.
Do I need to roll to pour wine?
Just like I would say perception to see if you can find all the things you're looking for.
That
How close to
did
your
point
vision?
up.
Yeah, how close to your vision you can
14 plus 3, so 17.
get. 17. Yeah, you're able to find.
I'm a master.
You're all the way on the top shelf.
Ambiance.
All the way on the top shelf, you find some dusty candlesticks, and there's like some grease off of like a grease trap in like a. So you just like scrape it in there and like mold it, and you kind of like start it burnt. You start like a controlled grease fire on top of this like tube, and you're like, and you find like a dusty old bottle of wine.
It's aged.
Yeah, it's like the one bottle of wine that's here, and you're like, just like smash it, and you find, they're in like ale glasses, and yeah, you're like lying, you're like, yeah.
No.
Wait, also 14 for performance.
No.
14 for performance, so like Juniper, you're like running all this stuff.
Working so hard.
You so hard. You start the harp too, and like, yeah,
Playing
you
with
do the
passion.
basics.
I'm not playing well, but I'm playing with passion.
No, and like it's a pretty
That's what
like
makes it beautiful.
standard. So it takes you a second to find the note. You do like a da 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 da, right? Trying to
Right.
find your place,
Yeah.
and then you're like, oh, I know like a string instrument. Like it's sequential. Like, and so it's not like sophisticated, but you make it kind of romantic, you know? Go ahead, give me another roll.
Wait, for what?
Another just flat charisma roll.
Gotcha. 15 with modifier.
Okay, 15. All of this happens. Toots looks around, takes one of the glasses. Do you go for the other one?
Yes.
Go for the other one. Looks up at you, drinks in one gulp. Like it's like a sip in this creature's hand.
Right.
Sets it down. Looks at you, grabs your wrist.
Love it.
Pulls you off the stage.
Okay. I'm liking where this is going.
Sets the bag down.
Okay.
Again, like a coin pusher. Arm comes down on the table, and there's some silver and some copper. It's maybe like a handful of coins spread out, like 30 odd dice or something,
Right.
and just kind of like scoops it towards you. Doesn't take their hand off of your wrist.
Mm-hmm.
And like kind of pulling you, also grabs the bag, does the rest of it. You have a chance you can like grab the coin and stuff, or do you leave it for your party to grab?
I will grab it myself.
You grab it, and you're not wearing pants, but you have a pocket somewhere. It's like
Kangaroo pouch.
breast pocket or something.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So you just, with your free hit, right, because your wrist is like out here.
Right.
You just start like plucking coins off the stage, like you're like bent over, like into your top pocket.
Right.
Hoots cinches up the bag, grabs you by the wrist, like looks down at you suggestively, and then like walks to Cogstein, hands Cogstein the bag, and takes you upstairs.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you do anything else? Or you're just locked? You got like a quick second to like call it a signal to anyone, or else you're just gonna be out of sync.
I'm
I'm
also
gonna be out of sync. I'm
cheering
good.
while this is
Yeah, no,
happening.
you're like
I'm very excited.
okay. Cool. So that happens, and we're just gonna go fade to black here. I mean, I could if you roll a Constitution save.
Okay. 19. That's really good.
19.
But say, Ryan, you won't survive.
Yeah, and what's your Constitution save modifier?
Where is that?
So that's going to be your saving throws,
Oh,
right
great.
above skills. Or it might, depending on what sheet you're using, that might be elsewhere.
Right above skills, Constitution. Where is that? Oh, there it is. +1, so 20.
So a 20, modified 20. So again, that is superhuman.
Experience.
So
I've had worse than this.
Yeah, right. You not only keep up, you excel.
The whole building is
so.
shaking.
Yeah.
That's way better than the performance he gave on stage.
Yeah.
Way better.
I have two
Saved
talents.
Yeah, saved the best for last.
Yeah. So no, absolutely fantastic.
Thank you. You're gonna need that potion, by the way.
You learn. I'll let you say. Through the whole encounter, you get some insight. You can either learn about some information about Toots, and I'll let you just kind of like pose a question to me.
Sure.
Like, and we'll kind of figure out where in scene that is, or you could figure out some questions about Easton. You could figure out some questions about Cogston. What?
Or you could learn a new move.
Learn a new move. Yeah. So, hey, look, I'll let that go, and we will maintain that. Like, I will honor them.
I think I don't know.
You just want to like maintain some advantage on seduction for some time. But if there's a piece of information between the time you spend with Toots that you want to gather. Because you have insight into like the bouncer here.
Right. That's a good idea. What do I want to ask though?
Yeah, and I'll say any more insight about the creature, like Toots themselves. They are You could say they're like similar to a Goliath.
Okay.
As a species.
Very
So,
hot.
like giant mixed with human, like long time ago, kind of like almost like a hybrid species that had enough of their own thing going on to be similar to, right? So this is a sort of a creature in amongst themselves, right? Not like troll, ogre, not like fantasy magical creature, but like a giant and like more diminutive races have like turned into this bloodline of a creature that's kind of in the middle.
I'd like to ask Toots about, like, kind of how like he came about to this place. Like, where did he grow up? Like, what's his deal?
Yeah, Toots and I don't have a great. My God, what does Toots sound like? Came here.
New Yorker.
Yeah,
I like that.
I'm not gonna.
Hey, I'm bouncing.
Yeah, came here as a young Toots. I left the Empire. I slipped into Stallone. My family was poor.
There it is. You found it.
And I sent money back even to this day. Kind of older parents. You get since the creature is like 40s, 50s, elderly parents, siblings that are kind of working within the Ilarian Empire. Some of them were listed in the military. None of them haven't seen family in a long time because none of them were really smart enough to enlist in the in the Solcardian College, the Wizard College. So they've only really ever made it back once or twice. Cogstein's kind of a fucking like really just like intense boss. Like no time, like you work every night, like this is your life. We're talking like circus purveyor levels of savvy. Like what do you mean you need to go? We have sailors here every night. I need you. So Toots has really only gotten a couple nights off, let alone trips back home ever. Is there any like other specific information you want to know?
Hand in marriage.
Not yet. We're getting there. I guess like I want to know like what's the whole deal with the college? Like why do they have like so much influence and power and everything?
Yeah, no, they seem a little taken aback, but I think you can like save it a little bit with you guys are a little disoriented at the end of the night. And like you can find kind of the pristine moments, and so Toots doesn't know like a whole lot about the college,
right?
But I haven't gone there any times myself. But the trip we get some of the college-bound hopefuls in along with cargo. What moves out is largely agriculture and experienced wizards back to the Empire, and what comes in are kind of these college hopefuls and other supplies and stuff and materials for the college. It kind of has like a pretty negative opinion of the wizards. They're very, keep to themselves, very stuffy, very condescending. If they've ever come in, they're very commanding and pretty obnoxious. But everyone like respects them, like no one can really touch them. So they're kind of like these arrogant, like haughty academics,
right? When
this is somebody that like deals with sailors, like very working class. It's like how Southern Illinois views Chicagoans.
Ooh, okay.
Right? It's pretty adversarial.
Yeah.
Of like they come here, they fuck around, they pass through here, and when I see them, they're pretty disrespectful. They're pretty disrespectful of our way of doing things, and we keep them supplied. We run the ports. They need us. They need us. They wouldn't even be able to function. They'd be a bunch of academics in a tower.
Right.
Not doing it. So, pretty condescending opinion. Remind me of your specific question.
Oh, if you could just like tell me the whole deal about the college. Why are they in power? Like, why? Yeah.
Yeah, and like so, it gets that taken aback a little bit, but just whatever. Gives their take on it. Their take being that this is where the Ilarian Empire comes to engage in experiments, magical experiments. Follows the legacy of Solcard, a wizard, and so the rest of the Empire sends them back. They send wizards back to enforce their almost like parallel to the military, right, at the highest level. Once they train and go through this system, so they do research, they innovate, make kind of like magical technological breakthroughs, and take that back to the Empire. And it's also a place outside the Empire, outside of anyone's purview, right? There's some weird shit that goes on there.
Gotcha.
So they really keep to themselves.
Yeah.
They get up to some weird shit. It's like it's really everyone's pretty annoyed with them, but like that's the entire reason for the port city to even exist.
Right.
To move trade between this like kind of fringe frontier area and back to the Empire's mainland proper.
Right.
And all of this is told in a flawless Stallone-like accent.
Perfect. Beautiful. Can I ask him like what ideally like he wants like to happen in regards to like the college and his position in life, things like that?
Heart to heart.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
You get a sense that Toots is just happy working here, keeping things secure. They sort of like the power that they get over the kind of like Solcardian academics as they come through. Because typically, it's a bit of a trek to the center of the peninsula to the college. And coming here, they typically need to stay, and they take a ship the next day.
Gotcha.
And just like kind of like getting up in their shit, right, a little bit. If they brush up against any of the sailors, kind of like this is the one place that can feel like a little more powerful for these sort of like working class folk that are serving the Empire like at that highest end, and the college that are all making this happen. So just very happy. The lighting just magnificent.
Oh no, it's morning.
We've been in here all night.
So I mean, they're just they're happy here.
Okay.
What they would really like is maybe some help. And they kind of mention your friend here, Calagon, if they have any interest in staying, so that they can get some time off to go see their family.
Sure.
Which is the Marshmallow family. Toots Marshmallow.
Gorgeous.
Amazing.
Gorgeous name.
Will you take his last name?
We'll think about it. I promise him that by the time... I don't want to say by the time I'm done here. Like, I promise him that soon enough, he will get what he deserves in terms of like.
That's threatening.
Not in that way. He will. He will show everyone just how important him and his kind of people are.
Okay.
And he will get time off.
Night again.
I'll make sure.
Talk through the day as well.
Yeah.
Toots doesn't really give too much of a response to that.
Sure.
But just kind of goes silent and has sort of a dreamy aura about them after your sort of like pillow side promises.
I like that.
Yeah. Cool. Everyone else. This tender moment.
Mind you, there's a lot of like noises happening at this moment.
Yeah. Yes. And I mean, you're amongst other rooms, like running the full length of this inn. Like they're all private rooms, but a lot of them are populated, and some of them are just like totally blasted sailors that want a bed for the first time in like 2 weeks.
Right.
But some rooms are busy, some rooms are noisy. So you're not totally. You kind of like mix into the throng of what did I caustic cauldrons, upper floors.
Mm.
So everyone else, you get approached by Hogston, the sort of humanoid elf, again, slightly better dressed than everyone else here, little put together, and she's, doesn't have your knife at this moment. It is not with her. And she approaches you, and if Kels is not doing anything in particular, after Toots takes Oberon upstairs, and the three of you are tossing bodies out, and goes, well, honestly, I have to say, and this is not common for me, so I'm only going to say it once, but you and your friends did a pretty good job.
Thank you, we tried.
What were you going to do if 6 extremely helpful people didn't show up today?
Make less money.
Okay. I was checking. I think we were more than useful.
Now,
There's a pile of sailors.
Useful people.
one more time here, Yev. Where did you say you all were from?
Very far away.
Very far away. We get a lot of people from very far away in this establishment, if you could imagine. And I don't typically ask a lot of questions. But seeing as we get a lot of Alarian ships and sailors through, I don't really have an interest in offering any further employment to a group that might cause some trouble intersecting with that. Do you understand?
Somewhat. I have a problem regarding spacing out when people talk, so I'm still not really clear on what Alarian means, but I understand this is not a full-time deal being offered to me.
And you say through would you say a vortex, a wormhole?
Yeah. Big story over there.
You're like, I don't know if you're actually an idiot.
Mostly.
Okay. The abject sincerity, she's really starting to. Maybe she's not lying. Maybe they don't. Didn't she? What? Everyone else is talking about a wormhole. Like maybe. Okay.
That's just her theory. We all have theories.
Well, I have
Maybe it's
a
a different layer
lot
of the world tree.
of copper to count, and by me, I mean the rest of my staff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a woman of my words. You want a place to stay? There's a larger room at the end of the hall upstairs. It very rarely gets use. It can accommodate all of you, and you're free to stay there if you'd like. Anything beyond that, we'll work out the details of in the morning. But we start serving breakfast from 8 a.m. to 10. Just like launches into full like hospitality pitch. It costs 2 copper per person. No, it will not be comped. Hard cut off at 10:30. You're gonna cook it. And the rest of you have to pay. And you get a sense of like, okay, like this is how like goalposts are just going to be moved. That's the deal here. But the room is yours, and we can talk about any further details in the morning. But pretty satisfied to just leave it and not ask any further questions.
Do I have an estimate of where my knife is? Just wondering.
You do not. Now, you've seen Cogston slip upstairs a few times. You get the sense that, she owns this
Are we sleeping
establishment.
upstairs or
You'd be upstairs in one kind of larger room, she suggested. You get a sense that maybe she lives here.
Yeah.
Maybe she has an office somewhere that you haven't seen. It's hard to say, but it is not down here.
Yeah. So it's just so I'm kind of keeping like a mental tab. Like
she
throughout the
hasn't
night
mentioned
of just
it.
where she.
It's for sure not down here.
Yep.
It's definitely somewhere else.
Okay.
And I think you're clever enough. Your family's been involved with like legitimate business and restaurants. Like it's unlikely that the head of this establishment like left for any significant amount of time to take it somewhere else. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Does anyone have any further questions?
I have a desire.
Yeah.
Hoping to investigate and see if I can find a bow within like the cargo.
Okay. Yeah, no, so, she kind of like bids everyone good night, goes upstairs herself. Magnus is there, a couple other of the kitchen staff. You got to know the wait staff. They're all there, doing the registers at the end of the night, right? Like counting. They're totally pocketing some money, and it's like not, they're just like, oh yeah, this and that, and this. Everyone's having a good time. Honestly, the staff's opinion of you all is pretty high, right? They're very friendly to you all. So if you slip out the main door, no one's really going to ask a question. And if you want to head towards the cargo, you see that it's late enough that all the ships have kind of stopped going. There's kind of like, I guess you could call it a guard station outside this big open warehouse. Everything has a tag on it, a system, and there's just one person there in the middle of the night, just kind of like... another like half elf, just kind of like doing some like magic cantrips to entertain themselves, some light or some like various visual effects, just like tracing lines in the air. Yeah. Their attention isn't fully on you, and if you want to stealth into kind of the cargo hold area, you could totally do that.
Let's do that.
Okay, go ahead, roll stealth. How do you fuck this up? They're sitting there. Think of it almost like a ticket booth at a movie theater.
Oh my god, the tin of venereal cream.
You get like up to there, right? And then it's been a long night. You've been running around. You kind of like stumble on just like a big ass coil of rope. Your foot gets caught as you get closer to the docks, to the working area, and like tins of venereal cream just like spit on your pocket, just like.
Wait, does your back still hurt?
Oh no, we had a full rest.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm fine.
No, you've had a short rest.
No.
You did not. Wait, no, you did, because that was from...
we went to pretty great lengths, I think.
No, was that at the combat? Yeah, that was at the combat. That wasn't before we left the beach. Oh my god, I forgot about that.
But you said my health was back.
Your health was back, but effects are not gone.
What?
Thank you.
Twinge.
Inspiration to you. Take an inspiration. You can choose
inspiration
to
of narking.
This is the PvP that I'm after. If you want to mark down somewhere that take an inspiration point, remembering details about the adventure. So yeah, if you want to roll with advantage on something that I don't give you, or bump disadvantage up to a regular roll, you have that power.
I won't forget this.
Listen, I also tried to defend you from that person.
You did. Doesn't count now.
So, you trip and your like back seizes up, and you're like, just pins venereal, just go everywhere. Just like you have so much in your pockets.
You were so ready. You made so much prepared.
I'm a saleswoman. Hello, hi.
And so they step out of the booth, and they just like a light hand trip, but it's like. Their hand is cupped in a way that's like a spotlight. And you're like, ah! Like, what do you want? What are you doing?
Get that out of my face. I'm here to sell you some cream.
I heard the sounds coming from your room, and I thought you really might need this.
Roll deception.
Okay. I'm going to use
And I'm going to, that's pretty convincing. I'm going to say DC is 12.
Okay.
So roll higher than a 12.
Yeah, with your modifier.
She's already accidentally dispensed the product.
Okay.
Yeah, like it's convinced. You like you have a lot of venereal cream.
Why do you
There's
have so
no
much?
other
Later.
reason.
Back to that later.
Okay, this is deception.
Deception. Yeah.
All right.
Was our ship carrying like STD?
It's their primary export. That's
Holy
me.
shit, Dajonea.
It's a 6.
A 6 with your modifier.
Yeah.
It's the roll on the die to get a 6.
A 3.
That's rough, buddy.
I'm having a hard time.
Quick, freeze them.
Quit.
The light doesn't move, and with
so
their
inspired today.
It's a triple entendre.
with their other hand, they raise it up and snap and press to digitate this like a klaxon alarm, right?
Gosh.
And a couple from like the houses way down the hill, a little slight, like 4 like big like burly dock workers.
I book it upstairs to whoever's
Yeah.
room. Give my fucking knife if shit's
Yeah,
Are
it,
you
like
outside? You're inside still, right?
I am, but I just heard the alarm bell go off, and I
okay.
don't know what's happening, but I know how much
you guys
money Juniper
you're
is
inside.
carrying.
You've wrapped up. Well, Juniper slips off. You all kind of make your way all the way at the end of the hall. You find like an unlocked door. It says like "sweet" on the door in like it floats with like a polished like gold, but like you kind of like scratch it and it's like painted, but it's like shiny paint. And you open the door and you step in and it's just like instead of like a 5x5 room with a bed in it and like a little washing station and like 2 square feet of floor space, right? You find like a 20 by 20 foot. There's like 3 beds in there. It's definitely just a box, right? It's definitely a box, but it's all the way at the end. So there's a window that looks down at the dock. And there's like a tiny wooden table there, just like a straight pillar, like 2 legs and like a tabletop that's like maybe enough for you to rest like both your elbows on if you like put them kind of close together. And then like the kind of like a standard maybe less dirty, it's kind of clean looking like washing basin and
So we hear the alarm bell go, right?
yeah. And so I think you all, if anyone wants to roll perception to see if you can hear the tins of venereal cream.
Oh, that's gonna be
It's going to be like,
gonna be a 2 for me.
it's a
so
2.
That's a 6 for
a
me.
6.
It's a 15.
It's a 15. Yeah, even with a 15, you don't hear the tins tumble out. But you do hear Juniper like hands with that.
It's a sound effect thing.
And then do you like move to go to the window or you're like
Am I tall enough to
Yeah,
get
yeah.
to the window?
The window's, like 4 feet high. It's like you can see.
Okay.
Yeah.
I peek out there.
Yeah. No, so you peek out and you see you see the guard like get out of the tower. Like you see like a spotlight from their hand and then their arm go like up and you start to hear that alarm go off.
I yell to the group over my shoulder, "Oh my god, Juniper is dead and there's so much venereal cream all over the ground. She has perished in some sort of venereal cream."
Character the venereal
You
cream
guys start
accident.
that flash. Do you all respond? Does anybody out of the 4 of you, because Oberon's on a commission,
Kind of busy.
kind of busy. This is like mid everything. To 4 of
I
you
go towards the alarm.
that would take you back out down the entire length of this place, down the stairs and back out.
Sure.
You sprint, you mosey on down. Like, how fast are you trying to get down there?
As fast as possible. If Juniper's dead, then I'll avenge you.
I'm sneaking to the boss's room because I imagine the boss is going to leave to hear what is happening at their fine establishment.
Yeah, Kels, do you shriek this? Like, is it like you scream this, or do you just like tell the people immediately in your room?
I yell it very loudly. How thin are the walls?
That's for
is
me
the
to know.
sound
You to find out.
Of Oberon doing what he's doing, drowning out.
To be fair, I'm very loud. I'm a ghost.
I would say like a good few doors down could hear you. So everyone at the end and a few doors down can all.
Okay, well, I'm in mourning.
And so just check, like, do you stay in the room or go? Do you stay in the room or go?
I look at Calagon leave.
Yeah.
And then I curl up on the bed and I take a nap.
100%. Totally.
I'm distraught. I need to preserve my strength.
Yeah, I feel like Yev and John both have executive functioning. So either of you, like, we don't have a particular order here. I was like, yeah, that makes sense. Like, I want to know your reaction. You take action. You said the thing, so how are you reacting? And the two of you, John and Yev, in reaction to Calagon and Kels, what do you both do? Kind of at the same time here.
I don't think that you can like physically die in an ointment accident. And I feel like I would hear a cry of pain where you stabbed. I heard a cry of back hurting, but I'm familiar with the sound of back hurting. I have a spine. So I am using this as an opportunity for the boss to come down and me to get my knife and then for me to fucking leave.
So you're staying in the room?
Oh no, I am going to stand so the boss's door, it opens, I stand to the spot it opens, then I go in and I get my fucking knife.
Okay. Yeah, and John, what do you do?
Yeah, I'm worried about Juniper, obviously.
Yeah.
But yes, I'm very worried about you. But I also am eyeing the tins of venereal.
You're like looking through the window
money-making
too.
opportunity. Yeah. And so I'm like, well, she wants to sell it, but her back's out. So I'm gonna fucking sell it. You know?
You can give the wherewithal to go, oh, that's Juniper's back.
Yeah, I didn't and I
You
didn't
were like right next to her when it
Yeah, exactly. I made like no money tonight, so like, this is my venereal cream.
That's a goal.
I did make some gold. It's true.
But and here's the question: will John run towards the sound of an alarm?
Well, but it's
Right, she's
Juniper.
been yeah.
And I'm loyal to Juniper.
Okay.
I'm loyal to everyone here, so I do want to help her.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. Just so, like in John's mind, you know the kind of situation you're running into, right? Like you from a thief's perspective.
From a thief's perspective, I know.
You're assessing the pulse.
Yes.
Yeah.
But what's appealing about this is getting the tins of venereal chiefly. Okay. And then Juniper secondly. No, they're tied for first. And I forget what I was gonna say. But I've been doing well tonight. Like no one has really.
You haven't had like amazing
any
opportunities, but you've been doing good.
People like me.
Yeah. Oh yeah, people like you. People, I would say, especially the staff in the Caustic Cauldron, everyone like loves you guys. Like this is their like you just made everyone a fuck ton of money. Like they think you're cool as hell.
So I'm not worried about the alarm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure were.
But you go down, you go out there.
I go down and out there. Yeah.
So I think this is about where we're gonna end for today. So it's John and Kel.
Mm-hmm. I'm concerned because I'm not familiar with Juniper's species, and based on her chronic back pain, backpack full of ointment, I'm assuming she's actually quite elderly for her species. And if they have tripped or beaten or harmed an old woman, then they need to be publicly eviscerated.
With what I'm doing, am I technically in combat?
Are you technically?
Do we need to go rounds? Roll initiative?
Yeah. Is there an ability you want to execute or anything?
Any spells you need to cast?
I just feel like
You know your armor class? What's going on up there?
I just feel like with who I'm getting it on with.
Like Toots Marshmallow.
With Toots Marshmallow, yes. I feel like there's a very serious risk of bodily harm.
Yeah, well, that's what the con save was.
Oh, okay.
And you crushed it.
Yep.
Like you're solid, And the way we set up this
Make Toots roll a con save.
yeah,
You're doing fine.
Yeah,
That's what I
is
say.
he also
idea.
solid?
it's power versus tenacity, right? Right.
As
You're
it
the
often
drop of
is.
water creating a canyon. This is a tidal wave. Okay.
Wow.
That's how I put it.
Unless they get a 1.
Beautiful metaphor.
Right, some of
Thank
people
you.
are very
That means a lot. I feel like my MFA is paid off now.
It's going in Matt Gordon's future romance novels.
That's a 17 plus. I gotta say, like, using Goliath stat lines that I don't have like immediately in front of me, but we're talking like a +4, +5, so somewhere in like the upper 20 range. So like they're great. Everyone's happy. Like handshake, solid deal, like good times all around, man.
Lovely.
Yeah, no, like fantastic. Like could not have gone
I
better.
never disappoint.
Yeah. Which, yeah, no, they haven't had that opportunity yet. So, I mean, they're feeling good. So, with that, I think we'll pick up next week with Juniper's situation. And we'll get on with our sort of next day. And who knows, we may start to see the next leg of the adventure. But this was a good time had by all.
I think we were really successful.
Yeah, no, I would say this could have gone a lot worse.
It's a hard time. I can't.
It's okay. I'm sure it won't come back to bite you in any way. There's no like predatory capitalist hanging just off screen ready to exploit this.
Hey, I have made all the workers like us. I'm ready to unionize.
Shit.
Oh, plot twist. I love that.
Well, if you want to see union bargaining in all of its glory, trade documents being drafted.
Yes, I love a document.
Love a document.
Love a document.
Notaries come into play. You all have your notary statistic, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. Cool.
Will I get my bow?
Will you get your bow? I mean, probably not. But we'll see. We'll see how this goes. But so that's Greater Shores episode 5. Thank you all for watching. This has been fun. Goodbye.
Spay and neuter your satyrs.